Chosen one. Lately something inside you feels off, doesn't it? A strange pressure, an unexplained heaviness, a spiritual shift you can't describe, and part of you fears something is wrong. But what if the very symptom that scares you is the proof that God is transforming you right now? Chosen one. Before we begin, breathe. Something in you has been shifting, and you know it. The atmosphere around your spirit changed without your permission. Your thoughts got deeper, your senses sharpened. Your heart started vibrating in a strange, almost sacred rhythm. And the truth is simple. You're not falling apart. You're being reassembled. Listen closely. When God begins His work inside someone, He does not whisper. He shakes foundations. The transformation is not gentle. It is precise, disruptive, holy. That's why you haven't been feeling normal. You're not meant to be normal. You carry a spiritual voltage your old life can no longer contain. These rare symptoms you've been experiencing, this internal pressure, this sudden sensitivity, this hunger for silence, this strange spiritual exhaustion, they are not signs of weakness, confusion, or burnout. They are the fingerprints of divine intervention. You are not fading, you are evolving. Heaven is stretching your spirit past every limit it once knew. What feels like collapse is actually expansion. What feels like isolation is actually alignment. And what feels like uncertainty is actually God rearranging your destiny from the inside out. Today, you will finally understand what these symptoms really mean. Today, the confusion ends, and the revelation begins. If this already stirred something inside you, hit the like button so this message reaches more chosen ones who are silently going through the same awakening. Subscribe if you haven't yet, because your spirit is entering a season where every message matters. And comment 99 as a declaration that your spiritual sensitivity is not random. It's confirmation that God is completing something divine inside you. The first symptom is one you've been trying to explain but can't, a deep, lingering exhaustion that feels nothing like normal tiredness. It follows you even after a full night of sleep, even on days you didn't do much physically. Your body feels heavier, your mind feels slower, and your emotions feel amplified in ways you can't fully articulate. But here is the truth, hidden beneath this strange fatigue. Your soul is outgrowing the space your old life occupies. This exhaustion is not a signal of decline, it's a sign of expansion. When God begins enlarging your spiritual capacity, the human shell struggles to keep up. It's like trying to fit a rising ocean inside a glass cup. The pressure builds, the edges strain. You feel a weight inside you that doesn't match your external circumstances. That weight is not sadness, not burnout, not weakness. It is the density of the new anointing being formed in you. You haven't been tired for no reason. Your energy is being pulled inward, redirected toward an unseen construction site inside your spirit. God is rearranging you from the inside out, rewiring your discernment, sharpening your intuition, strengthening your emotional core, and expanding your spiritual bandwidth. The exhaustion you feel is the body reacting to a supernatural upgrade you didn't ask for, but were chosen for. Your spirit is accelerating, but your environment is standing still. That's why everything feels mismatched. Activities that once energized you now drain you. People you once tolerated now overwhelm you. Places that used to feel normal now feel heavy or hollow. It's not that the world changed, you did. Your soul is moving at the speed of your calling while your surroundings remain stuck in the rhythm of your past. That friction creates internal fatigue, the same way a rocket shakes right before it breaks the atmosphere. And there's another layer to this exhaustion, a hidden spiritual dimension. When God separates you for a higher assignment, the battles around you shift. Your spirit can sense movements you cannot see, unseen warfare, energies being realigned, spiritual doors opening and closing. Your exhaustion is not just physical, it's spiritual sensitivity turned up to a level you've never operated in before. You're picking up signals designed only for the awakened. This is why your emotions feel deeper, your thoughts feel more intense, your heart feels like it's absorbing more than usual. You're not losing control, you're gaining capacity. God is stretching the vessel because what He's about to pour into you requires more room than your previous version could hold. You haven't been shutting down. You've been shedding the version of you that was too small for your destiny. This exhaustion is the molting stage, the spiritual shedding of old skin, old patterns, old energy. And the deeper truth is this: even though you feel drained, something inside you is glowing hotter, brighter, sharper, The fire is growing, the spirit is awakening, the old you is dissolving to make space for the one you prayed to become. But here's the part you weren't expecting. The exhaustion doesn't mean you're at your limit. It means you're standing at the edge of something enormous. And the next symptom will reveal exactly why this transformation feels so intense, and why heaven is moving you so forcefully right now. The second symptom arrives quietly, almost secretly. One day you wake up and the world feels too loud. Noise that never bothered you suddenly feels intrusive. Conversations that once entertained you now drain your spirit. Even being around people you care about starts to feel strangely heavy, as if your soul is whispering, "Pull back." Something sacred is happening inside you. This shift is not accidental. It is not moodiness. It is not antisocial behavior. What you are experiencing is a divine withdrawal, a supernatural separation orchestrated not by your feelings, but by God Himself. You begin craving silence in a way you can't explain. Not just external silence, but internal quiet. Your mind longs for space. Your heart feels overstimulated by the noise of the world. Your spirit wants solitude the way a starving person wants food. This craving is the first clue. God is clearing the room so He can step in. When heaven prepares to speak, it first removes every voice that competes with His. The noise that once felt harmless now feels suffocating because your sensitivity has shifted from the earthly to the spiritual. And here's the part most people overlook. Isolation isn't punishment. It's preservation. God pulls His chosen ones away before He reveals the next instruction. He silences distractions so you can discern movements that are subtle, precise, and sacred. He removes the unnecessary so you can hear what was impossible to hear in the crowd. What feels like distance is actually preparation. What feels like emptiness is actually alignment. You may have noticed that certain people who once felt comforting now feel mismatched with your spirit. Their conversations feel shallow. Their energy feels heavy. Their presence feels off, even if they haven't done anything wrong. This isn't judgment, it's evolution. Your inner frequency is rising, and anything that vibrates lower becomes intolerable. God is purifying your atmosphere because your destiny requires clarity, not clutter. During this stage, many chosen ones feel a strange guilt. You wonder why your social battery disappeared. You worry that you're becoming cold or distant. But listen closely. Your soul is not pushing people away. It is pulling you toward God. The silence you crave is the environment where revelation is born. The solitude you seek is the greenhouse where your next spiritual identity is cultivated. You are not running from the world. You are being summoned by heaven. In isolation, something mysterious begins happening. Your thoughts deepen, your emotions sharpen, and your intuition becomes razor clear. You begin sensing what is real and what is false. You begin noticing spiritual currents beneath ordinary interactions. You start seeing people's intentions before they express them, and this insight can feel unsettling. But it is part of your awakening. God separates you so you can see without interference. And then there is the sacred part, the realm no one talks about. When God withdraws you from the world, He does it because something is drawing near, something you must hear, receive, or release. In silence, He aligns your spirit with instructions that can only be delivered when your heart isn't crowded. This is the stage where destinies shift, where old versions die, and where the next chapter begins to take shape, not in noise, but in stillness. Your longing for silence is not a symptom of loneliness. It is the doorway to revelation. The world thinks silence means emptiness, but the chosen ones know silence is where heaven speaks the loudest. And right now, God is speaking to you not with words, but with separation. The people who once felt right now feel wrong for a reason. Your spirit has matured. Your path has elevated. Your atmosphere is being purified, because what comes next requires absolute clarity. And just when it feels like the quiet is too deep, too strange, too overwhelming, something begins to stir in the spiritual realm. A movement, a signal, a whisper, the kind that only those in divine isolation can hear. What if that whisper is already forming inside you, preparing to reveal the third symptom that will shake your understanding of everything happening within your spirit? The third symptom arrives without warning. It doesn't knock. It doesn't ask for permission. It simply awakens, and suddenly you're feeling everything more intensely than ever before. A shift happens inside you. Conversations carry more weight. Glances reveal more truth. Silence becomes louder than words, and the atmosphere of a room tells you more than the people in it. You start noticing what others overlook. You feel tension before it forms. You perceive dishonesty before it's spoken. You sense spiritual currents long before your mind catches up. And while the world may call this overthinking, heaven calls it discernment. This sensitivity is not fragility. It is one of the strongest signs that God is elevating your spiritual awareness. When He chooses someone for deeper assignments, He upgrades their internal radar. He gives them the ability to sense spiritual activity beneath the surface, to recognize intentions hidden behind smiles, and to perceive emotional truth behind carefully constructed masks. You're no longer operating from instinct, you're operating from revelation. Your discernment is being sharpened like a blade. You don't just see situations, you see through them. You don't just hear words, you hear the spirit behind them. You don't just feel emotions, you feel spiritual vibrations that others are completely blind to. And while this new level of perception can feel overwhelming at times, it is actually God preparing you for a higher realm of influence. He cannot allow you to step into your next assignment blind. So He is rewiring your senses so you can navigate dangers, opportunities, and spiritual signals with prophetic clarity. This heightened sensitivity reveals things you were never meant to ignore. You can walk into a room and instantly feel whether you're welcomed or merely tolerated. You can meet someone for the first time and sense whether their spirit aligns with yours. You grow uncomfortable around hidden agendas, false kindness, and masked jealousy. God is teaching you to distinguish light from shadow long before the situation unfolds. This is not paranoia, this is preparation. Often, this gift comes with emotional depth. You cry easier, you love deeper, you feel heavier, not because you're weaker, but because your spirit has shed its old armor and replaced it with divine perception. You are no longer numb to spiritual reality, you're awake. And awakened souls feel more because they see more. But with that comes the ability to protect yourself in ways you never could before. Your sensitivity is not a burden, it is armor crafted by heaven. This new discernment also exposes people's intentions in ways that shock you. You can tell when someone is lying even if their words sound perfect. You can detect when someone's admiration is actually envy wearing perfume. You can sense when someone's advice is wrapped in hidden motives. You feel spiritual discord before it erupts, and spiritual alignment before it manifests. Every sensation, every shift, every gut feeling is a divine signal carrying a message. And here's the part many overlook. Heightened sensitivity is not just about detecting danger. It's also about recognizing divine moments. You start noticing blessings approaching before they appear. You feel when God is opening a door before it swings wide. You perceive breakthrough energy before it becomes visible. It's like your spirit is hearing footsteps from the future, preparing you for what's coming. This gift also brings urgency, because once you feel truth, you can't unfeel it. Once you perceive something spiritually, you can't pretend it isn't there. Your spirit pushes you to act, to distance yourself, to move forward, to trust the nudge, even when nothing in the natural world justifies it. This is heaven training you to respond by faith rather than logic. But with every divine gift comes a moment of tension. The moment when you must decide whether to trust your spirit or your surroundings, whether to obey the whisper or follow the crowd, whether to acknowledge the unseen or ignore what your soul is screaming. And that decision becomes the turning point. Because what comes next will reveal a symptom even more intense than sensitivity, a force building inside you that refuses to stay contained. And it's already starting to rise. This fourth symptom is the one most chosen ones fear, because it feels like your entire inner world is being pulled in different directions at once. Some days you wake up with a fire burning inside your chest, as if something powerful is trying to rise. Other days, it feels like a weight pressing down on your spirit, making it hard to understand your own emotions. And then there are the moments when you cry without knowing why, when your heart aches with a feeling too deep to describe, or when a sudden wave of restlessness hits you out of nowhere. This emotional turbulence is not instability, it is holy disruption. The Holy Spirit is moving things inside you that were never meant to stay. He's shifting the architecture of your soul, tearing down old emotional structures that no longer match your new identity. This inner pressure is the sound of spiritual construction. Something is being rebuilt, something is being released, something is being reborn. You are not falling apart. You are breaking open. There's a difference. Falling apart means chaos. Breaking open means emergence. Just like seeds crack before they grow, like bones strengthen after pressure, like diamonds are formed through unimaginable force. Your spirit is undergoing a transformation that demands intense internal movement. God is not damaging you, He is unlocking you. During this phase, emotions won't follow logic. You may feel inspired one moment and overwhelmed the next. You may feel your heart racing without fear. You may feel as if something old inside you is fighting to survive while something new is demanding to be born. This inner conflict is the final stage of spiritual shedding. The parts of you that lived in fear, doubt, trauma, or smallness cannot travel into your next season, so they rise to the surface, not to haunt you, but to exit you. This is why you might feel physical sensations too. A tightness in the chest, a burning behind the eyes, a pressure between the shoulder blades, a sudden need to breathe deeper, a heaviness in the stomach before a breakthrough. These sensations are the embodiment of spiritual release. The Holy Spirit is clearing emotional debris buried for years. Grief you never processed, wounds you never voiced, memories you never examined. When God prepares a chosen one for elevation, He doesn't just change your circumstances, He changes your internal reality. The restlessness is a signal that your spirit refuses to live in the same internal prison it once tolerated. And pay attention to this. The reason these waves come unexpectedly is because they are not human-made. They are heaven-triggered. They arrive when God is shifting timelines, opening unseen doors, closing invisible cycles. Your spirit feels the movement before your eyes witness the manifestation. What you call restlessness is actually your soul sensing a divine transition approaching. This is also the stage where your old identity fights the hardest. Not because it's powerful, but because it's dying. Any version of you built on survival will resist the version of you built on purpose. That tension creates emotional waves that feel like storms, but they are actually contractions, the signs of spiritual birth. You are not losing control. You are losing limitations. You are not being overwhelmed. You are being awakened. And here's the deeper mystery. This inner pressure is heaven preparing you to hold a blessing larger than everything you've survived. God cannot give you a new spiritual mantle while your heart still carries the weight of old emotional scars. So before He elevates you outwardly, He liberates you inwardly. The turbulence you feel is not a problem. It's a prophecy. The shaking is not a warning. It's confirmation. And just when you start adapting to these emotional waves, a new sensation begins to rise beneath them. Something sharper, clearer, more defined. It's the beginning of a prophetic alignment, a shift in your spiritual atmosphere so intense that your intuition starts seeing the future before it arrives. Because the fifth symptom will reveal the moment heaven takes full control, and nothing in your life remains the same. This fifth symptom is the most astonishing of them all, and the hardest to describe. It arrives quietly, like a soft wind after a violent storm, and yet it carries a power that leaves you speechless. You suddenly feel something you can't logically justify. A calm that doesn't match your circumstances. A serenity that doesn't make sense. A peace that feels too deep for the chaos around you. It doesn't come from your mind. It doesn't come from your emotions. It comes from one place only. God has taken over. You find yourself in a strange, in-between space, where things around you still look uncertain, yet inside you, there is an unshakable stability. You feel tired, but not defeated. Unsure, but not afraid. You can't explain why your heart feels lighter, why your chest feels open, why your soul feels like it exhaled something heavy you didn't even know you were carrying. This is not resignation. This is holy surrender. This is the moment when your spirit stops fighting battles that God already claimed as His. This divine peace is not passive. It is not weakness. It is the evidence of spiritual maturity. It means your spirit now recognizes God's presence faster than your mind can analyze the situation. You no longer need every answer. You no longer crave every explanation. Something within you finally understands that God has already stepped into the parts of your life that were outside your control. This is the moment where the inner battle ends, not because the situation is solved, but because you are no longer fighting it alone. God's hand begins to move in silence, in timing, in alignment. You feel it. You sense it. You may not see it yet, but the peace proves it's happening. What makes this symptom so rare is that it only appears after you've survived the pressure, the separation, the sensitivity, and the internal breaking. It's the afterglow of spiritual reconstruction. The moment when the soul finally accepts that what is coming is bigger than what was lost, and that God's plan is unfolding with precision far beyond your understanding. You begin to notice little things. Your breathing slows. Your thoughts stop fighting each other. Your heart feels warm, even without a reason. Your spirit feels anchored, even if the world around you is unstable. Your intuition whispers, "It's handled." And that whisper matters more than anything you see with your eyes. Because this peace is not emotional, it is prophetic. It is your spirit reacting to something heaven already finalized. It's like your soul got a glimpse of what your mind hasn't seen yet. A breakthrough forming behind the veil, a solution on its way, a divine reversal already set in motion. This peace is the confirmation that you've crossed a spiritual threshold. You're no longer in survival mode. You're no longer operating from fear. You're no longer praying from desperation. You've entered a state of inner alignment where your spirit trusts God more than your mind trusts logic. You don't need to know how, because something inside you already knows who. And then something even deeper happens. You begin releasing things without effort. Old worries lose their grip. Old fears lose their voice. Old wounds lose their sting. You're not fighting to let go. You simply feel the weight fall off. This is the moment when heaven downloads clarity into your spirit. Not through explanation, but through peace. It's not that you suddenly understand everything, it's that you no longer need to. Your heart reaches a level of stability where confusion can't touch you because God's presence sits heavier than your questions. This peace is not the end of the journey. It is the sign that the revelation is close. It is the spiritual hush right before the divine unveiling. It is the silence before miracle movement. It is the calm that prepares you for what God is about to place in your hands. Yes, this is the rarest symptom, because it signals something monumental. Your spirit has stepped into alignment with heaven's timeline. God is no longer working around you. He is now working through you. And right when this peace settles into your bones, when your soul finally rests without understanding why, that's when the final moment of this message begins to form. The moment where everything you've been feeling finally makes sense. The moment where the awakening becomes undeniable. Chosen one. This is the moment everything inside you has been leading toward. Every tremor in your soul, every wave of emotion, every unexplained shift. None of it was random. None of it was punishment. Every symptom you carried was God's fingerprint, reshaping you for a destiny your old self could never hold. You were not being broken. You were being rebuilt. You were not being abandoned. You were being accelerated. What felt like silence was actually strategy. What felt like exhaustion was spiritual reconstruction. What felt like isolation was divine positioning. And what felt like confusion was the unmistakable sign that heaven was rewriting the blueprint of your life. Chosen one. Everything you've been feeling, every shift, every ache, every strange spiritual symptom, has been God preparing you for the next level of your destiny. The old version of you couldn't carry what's coming. So God has been reforming you in silence, purifying you in exhaustion, strengthening you in isolation, and awakening you in sensitivity. You are not lost. You are being aligned. You are not weak. You are being refined. You are not ending. You are becoming. There is a power rising inside you that cannot be explained, only witnessed. A new spiritual authority taking shape. A new clarity awakening. A new strength activating. You are stepping into a version of yourself that was sculpted by the hands of God, forged in hidden moments, and birthed through symptoms only the chosen understand. So hear this with every part of your spirit. If you feel these symptoms, it's because God is working in you right now. Powerfully, deeply, intentionally, unmistakably. Something divine is unfolding, and nothing in your life will remain the same once it fully emerges. Now declare it. Prophesy over your own journey. Seal this moment in your soul. Comment below, God is awakening my spirit. Say it with conviction. Say it with faith. Say it because heaven is touching you, and your life is about to shift in ways you aren't even ready to imagine.